Get ready because what I'm about to tell you is going to completely change how you see Arsenal Football Club moving forward. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss a single second of this, because Gunners Updates has the full story on how Mikel Arteta just pulled off what might be the most incredible double transfer coup in modern Premier League history. The Emirates Stadium has witnessed many defining moments over the decades, but few transfer coups in recent memory have sent shock waves through English and European football quite like this one. Arsenal Football Club, quiet for weeks and accused by rivals of hesitation, have suddenly detonated a midfield bombshell that has left fans stunned and opponents scrambling to understand what just happened. Sandro Tonali and Vitinha are officially Arsenal players, done, sealed, and delivered. Two elite midfielders with two contrasting profiles and one shared purpose, and one manager who has once again proven that when Arsenal move, they move with intent, precision, and a level of ambition that sends shivers down the spines of their rivals. The breakthrough came late at night, long after most fans had put their phones down and gone to bed, thinking another day would pass without major news. Sources close to the club later revealed that negotiations on both fronts had reached a critical juncture simultaneously, with Arsenal's transfer team, led by Edu Gaspar, working tirelessly on parallel tracks, carefully balancing finances, agent demands, and the sporting vision laid out by Mikel Arteta. Tonali's camp wanted clarity about his role and importance to the team, while Vitinha's representatives wanted guarantees about playing time and the club's ambitions. Arsenal offered both, not just lucrative contracts with impressive numbers, but a genuine project with substance and vision. By the early hours of the morning, the final details were agreed upon and medicals were booked in total secrecy. Private flights were arranged with the utmost discretion, and there were no leaks, no noise, just precision and professionalism at the highest level. By morning, it was over, and the football world woke up to news that would dominate headlines for weeks to come. Sandro Tonali's move to Arsenal feels like destiny rather than coincidence, and anyone who has followed his career closely will understand exactly why Gunners Updates is calling this a match made in football heaven. The Italian international has long been admired in North London, with scouts and coaches alike recognizing that his leadership, intensity, and tactical intelligence perfectly align with Arteta's idea of control through aggression and intelligence. Tonali arrives as a proven leader despite his relatively young age, a midfielder forged in Serie A battles and capable of dictating tempo, breaking opposition lines with perfectly weighted passes, and throwing himself into challenges that ignite stadiums and galvanize teammates. Inside Arsenal, he is viewed as a true box-to-box general, a tactical linchpin against elite opposition who can be trusted in the biggest matches on the biggest stages, and a mentality monster built for big nights under the lights when everything is on the line. Arteta personally spoke to Tonali multiple times throughout the negotiation process, outlining a role that would make him the heartbeat of the team, not a supporting act or a squad player, but a cornerstone upon which future success would be built. Tonali said yes without hesitation, drawn to the vision, the ambition, and the opportunity to become a legend at one of football's most historic clubs. If Tonali is the steel that will protect and provide the foundation, then Vitinha is the silk that will glide over opposition defenses and unlock them with moments of pure magic. The Portuguese maestro arrives to bring elegance, invention, and unpredictability to Arsenal's midfield, giving them a dimension that has been missing in the tightest and most decisive matches. His ability to glide past markers as if they're not even there, manipulate tight spaces with close control and vision, and release forwards at precisely the right moment with passes that slice through defensive lines gives Arsenal a weapon they've craved for years. Vitinha was not an opportunistic signing plucked from nowhere at the last minute. He was a priority, a name circled and underlined on Arteta's wish list for multiple transfer windows. Arteta and his coaching staff have tracked him for years, convinced that his intelligence without the ball, his movement into pockets of space, and his bravery with it when under pressure would thrive in the intensity and physicality of the Premier League. Where others see risk in bringing a technically gifted player into such a demanding league, Arsenal see evolution, and the next step in their tactical development. Vitinha's role is crystal clear from the very beginning: link midfield to attack with creative passing and dribbling, break down compact low blocks that have frustrated Arsenal in the past, and control rhythm in high-pressure games where composure is everything. This is not rotation for the sake of depth. This is reinforcement at the highest level, with the intention of turning good performances into great ones and great performances into trophies. With these two signings, Mikel Arteta has completed the most ambitious phase of his Arsenal rebuild so far, transforming the club from promising challengers into genuine contenders on multiple fronts. This is no longer a team learning how to challenge for titles and compete in Europe. This is a team built to dominate, to impose their style on opponents, and to win silverware consistently. The midfield now boasts power that can match any opponent physically, technique that can unpick the most organized defenses, tactical flexibility that allows Arteta to adapt his approach game by game, leadership that sets standards in training and on match days, and depth for multiple competitions that means Arsenal can compete on every front without sacrificing quality. Arteta wanted players who think about football the same way he does, players who understand positional play, pressing triggers, and how to manipulate space. Tonali and Vitinha fit that philosophy perfectly, like pieces of a puzzle that were always meant to slot together. One presses with relentless energy and tactical awareness, one glides with grace and vision, one commands the midfield battle with authority, and one creates chances that others wouldn't even see. Together, they transform Arsenal's engine room into one of the most feared and respected in Europe, a midfield that can go toe-to-toe with anyone and come out on top. Inside the dressing room, when news broke internally before it hit the media, the reaction was instant and overwhelmingly positive. Senior players welcomed the ambition and the signal it sent about the club's direction, while young stars felt protected by the knowledge that they would be surrounded by quality and experience. The message was loud and clear to everyone at the club, from the coaching staff to the academy players: Arsenal are not here to participate and make up the numbers. They are here to win, to compete for every available trophy, and to re-establish themselves among Europe's elite. Several players were said to be buzzing after hearing about the double signing, texting each other and sharing their excitement in group chats. This wasn't about ego or individuals worried about their positions. It was about collective belief, belief that the club is moving forward with purpose, belief that standards are rising to match the biggest clubs in world football, and belief that the biggest nights are coming back to the Emirates, those special European evenings under the lights when the atmosphere is electric and history is being written. Make no mistake, this deal was not just about strengthening Arsenal's squad with quality additions. It was a direct message to the rest of the league and to Europe that Arsenal have arrived as serious players in the transfer market. Manchester City noticed and understood that a new challenger was emerging with real strength. Liverpool noticed and recognized that the competition for trophies just got harder, and Chelsea noticed and realized that their London rivals were no longer content to play second fiddle. Arsenal have stepped into the market with authority and confidence, proving they can attract elite talent from Europe's biggest leagues, not with desperation or by overpaying, but with conviction, a clear project, and the promise of competing for the biggest prizes. The days of Arsenal being a stepping stone for ambitious players or a selling club that couldn't hold on to their best talent are long gone, buried in the past where they belong. The Emirates dream is alive and burning brighter than ever for the supporters who have waited so patiently for this moment. For the fans, this feels deeply personal, the culmination of years of patience and trust, years of being told to trust the process while watching rivals celebrate trophies, years of near misses and painful lessons that tested their faith, and years of watching a young team grow and develop without quite getting over the line. Now finally, there is substance behind the promise, tangible proof that the vision was real and the plan is working. Sandro Tonali walking out at the Emirates, fist clenched and ready for battle, embracing the crowd and feeding off their energy. Vitinha receiving the ball between the lines, head up and scanning the field, dictating the game with the kind of composure that separates good players from great ones. This is the Arsenal fans imagined when they dared to dream. This is the Arsenal they waited for during the difficult years, and this is the Arsenal that will make all the patience and loyalty worthwhile. With Tonali and Vitinha secured and putting pen to paper, Arsenal's squad suddenly looks frighteningly complete in a way that even the most optimistic fans couldn't have predicted just months ago. Depth across every position, quality that can compete with anyone, versatility that gives the manager options, and leadership that will drive standards every single day. The mood around the club is electric, crackling with energy and anticipation. Training intensity has risen noticeably as players push themselves to secure their places in a star-studded lineup, and expectations have shifted from hopping to compete to expecting to win. No more whispers about what Arsenal might achieve, no more excuses about not having the depth or quality to go all the way, just pure ambition and the determination to turn potential into reality. Rodrigo goes and Sandro Tonali to Arsenal, finally done deal. And here's how Arteta completed the ultimate statement signing that has sent shockwaves through football. The red half of North London woke up to disbelief, excitement, and a familiar phrase lighting up social media feeds across the world that made fans' hearts race. Here we go. What once sounded impossible, like a fantasy dreamed up by the most optimistic supporters, had suddenly become reality in the most spectacular fashion. Rodrigo goes and Sandro Tonali were Arsenal players, two elite talents signed in the same window, arriving not as dreams or rumors that would ultimately fade away, but as a statement of intent that resonated across world football. For Mikel Arteta, this was not just a transfer success or a good piece of business. It was the culmination of a long-term vision that he had been building toward since the day he walked through the doors at London Colney, a carefully constructed project that had reached its most ambitious chapter yet. The summer had changed everything for Arsenal and their supporters who had endured so much. Arsenal had come close before, closer than many gave them credit for. Title races fought until the final weeks with courage and determination, Champions League nights that reawakened European belief and reminded everyone of Arsenal's history in the competition, and a young squad learning how to suffer through difficult moments, adapt to different challenges, and dominate opponents with increasingly mature performances. But internally, the club knew something was still missing, pieces of the puzzle that would transform them from challengers into champions. They needed stardust in the final third to unlock stubborn defenses. They needed steel and intelligence in midfield to control the biggest games. And so Arsenal went big, going after targets that other clubs thought were unrealistic.